Hello, and welcome to our first episode ever of Kansas City Tour Guides. I am Tina Parent, and this is my husband, Chris Parent.
Also true.
Yep. And we are here to help you as you travel to Kansas City.
Yep. We've lived in Kansas City pretty much our entire lives. I've lived within an hour of this fine city. Yeah, since all 44. Stop laughing. I'm not old. 44 years of my life. And I mean, this is home. This has always been the big city. It's where we grew up. How about you?
We moved here when I was in third grade. So I've lived here for about 37 years.
So
pretty much, I know. Pretty much all the time I can remember.
right.
Yeah.
So Kansas City is a part of us, and something really cool has happened recently.
So exciting!
We can tell them.
Okay, yes. We got chosen as one of the cities to host the World Cup. I'm so excited. Okay, so
that was World Cup for those of you who don't speak Tina.
Yes, World Cup. So we figured we would start this podcast to help people.
Right now.
Yep. You guys are going to travel to Kansas City, right? And we know we're going to have international travelers coming here.
Yep. And down here, we're going to keep track of how long it is till the World Cup.
Yeah,
it's only 3 years.
We're so excited. So mainly our focus is going to be helping you international travelers get here, get settled, figure out what is happening.
But anybody who wants to come to Kansas City is going to find something cool from our podcast.
Mm-hmm. And even if you live in Kansas City right now, we're going to do episodes about restaurants you should try and things to do with the kids and updates on how the streetcar is going, things that are going to be important to you.
The airport. Anyway. I mean, all the things that we are doing because Kansas City is a cool place to be. We like it.
It's a cool place and it's growing. We're just in 3 weeks. We're hosting the NFL draft. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. I mean, the big game.
Second time.
So yeah, our city is growing, and we're going to keep you up to date on all the cool things that are happening.
KU's, won a national championship very recently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sporting Kansas City's been good.
Current's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about all these things and more on our podcast.
Barbecue's good.
Barbecue's
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you have some myths that you would like to ask me about?
Yeah, so we thought for those of you who want to get to know us and who want to get to know our first city, we thought we'd start off with 10 myths that people think about Kansas City. And we're going to talk about whether or not they're true or false. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say the myth, and you're going to say if it's true or false, and then we'll probably argue whether or not it is actually true or false, because that's what we do. So, we ready?
I'm ready.
Kansas City is the land of tornadoes. Tornadoes, but if you're a local, it's a tornado.
Or twister.
Or tornado. Anyway, yeah. What do you think?
True-ish.
True-ish.
Okay, so yes, we have tornadoes here. Are you going to come to Kansas City and have to dodge tornadoes every time you go out? No. It is very rare that we have one hit in Kansas City. I think the last time we had any sort of major one was the one that hit Turner. We were on vacation hit 4 years ago.
They hit the suburbs. We are down south of down Paola. So within a radius, you are going to find tornadoes. But yeah, you don't walk outside and randomly a tornado comes and steals you and your children.
No, don't be afraid of them. Like if you've seen Twister or what's that other one, Into the Storm?
Yeah.
It is not like that. Like, yes, in fact, tonight we are having a breakout of tornadoes like that. Not here. We're having it. It's in Arkansas, Mississippi. It's all east. It's
like all around us. Yeah.
So it does happen. We're having it's called a tornado emergency. But for the most part, Tornado Alley has kind of shifted. Actually, it's moved east. So we don't
south, right? For the
east
south?
And south. So when you come to Kansas, I know you're thinking about tornadoes, but do not be afraid of them. In fact, I think we're going to do an episode on if we have tornadoes, because the World Cup will be partially during tornado season.
Yep.
But don't be afraid. Like, they come. Everybody that's lived here for a while has a story about that one time they saw a twister. But,
actually, my boss is from London, the London area, and there was a tornado alarm when he came down last time. So he was very excited, actually. So yeah,
yeah, it's not something that happens even once a week. Maybe maybe
You are
once a
really,
springtime.
you are really making us sound droll and boring. I don't have to work on that. So, okay, all right. So, if twisters or tornadoes are true-ish,
Mhm.
is Kansas the portal to the land of Oz?
No. That no. So whenever we say we're from Kansas, people are like, "Oh, Wizard of Oz, Dorothy, Toto."
Dorothy, yeah.
Which yes, it happened in Kansas, but Kansas does not look like that anymore. At least most parts.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean,
Not,
if you go
not
to a
anywhere
small
where you're
town,
going
it
to
kind of
go.
does look like
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
But,
not where you're going to be watching World Cup soccer anyway.
right.
We're pretty sure it's going to be in Arrowhead Stadium, which is where the Chiefs play, and that is pretty close to downtown Kansas City.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah,
So,
you're
yeah.
not going to see. No one will be attacked by pigs.
No,
No, no. So yeah,
no, and you're not gonna get scooped up by a tornado and taken to Oz. Though, if you rent a car and want to drive, 2 hours? You can go to Wamego, Kansas, where they have a really cool World Wizard of Oz museum.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
What about cowboys? The Kansas is full of cowboys.
True-ish.
You keep saying truish, but we said false on our notes here. I just want to go on record.
Okay, so false. But okay, so Kansas City was built as cattle town. Kansas City did have cowboys. In fact, Dodge
Yep.
City is just 4 hours south of us. That was a big cowboy shootout town. We do still have cowboys. In fact, you're
Okay, we have cowboys, but it's not like people are going to. There's no horses going through the streets.
no,
Gunfighters are not going to be,
no,
out hunting villains in black hats. It's not like that. We're
no.
we're actually a modern city. We have indoor plumbing and everything. So I mean, it's not the way it's not how it used to be. And Kansas City a lot of times in movies is portrayed as kind of a frontier town, and that is a rich part of our history. It is not a rich part of our current.
True. That being said, we do have farms around the city, like outside of the suburbs.
True.
You will see people in cowboy boots, cowboy hats, and jeans, not driving a horse, but driving very large trucks.
Or Teslas for that matter. I
Well,
mean, it's
that's
just kind of
true.
the fashion. So
Yeah, it is kind of in fashion.
all right. Nothing wrong with that. We support that. It just
I have
it's-
boots. They have
That's
pink
true.
sparkles on them.
I guess I have a cowboy hat. So yeah, there we go.
Okay then.
Cowboys, true. All right, fine. Kansas City is the land of barbecue.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely true. Texas, if you're watching, I don't care. Hang up.
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Mm-mm.
St. Louis style ribs, no.
Mm-mm.
No. This is Kansas City. So we were talking about the Kansas being a cattle town. It was actually ranchers from all over the area, from all sorts of like states, would bring their livestock to Kansas City and put them on the rail yards.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a huge rail system here in Kansas City. I mean, we're in the middle of the country, right? So our barbecue evolved because we like to cook not just brisket, Texas again, or pork like in North Carolina, but we do it all. We do turkey, chicken, brisket. There are these things called
we
burnt
barbecue
ends.
portobello mushrooms.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do bologna. That's a Tulsa thing, and it's terrible. No. But yeah, so Tulsa. I'm just insulting everybody because we have better barbecue. I apologize. But yeah, so really any of the meats, pork, chicken, lamb, whatever.
Come hungry to Kansas City.
Yeah, we have more barbecue restaurants in Kansas City per capita than anywhere in the world. So yeah, if you like your meat cooked low and slow over smoke, we got you covered. And we will talk about the best places to get barbecue in a future episode.
Yes, we will.
All right, so that's true.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, is Kansas flat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, in the suburbs you're going to see some hills, but if you get outside of the direct Kansas City area.
So yeah, this is the state of Kansas. You've got hills right here, right here. This is western Kansas past Topeka. This is Kansas City. Like you're good. Like I'm trying to simulate small hills here.
Yeah. Well, and then the Flint Hills kind of in the middle, but for the most part, if you're driving through Kansas,
you will see things called dust devils, which are like little mini tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I said that was true?
They won't hurt you.
No, they won't. But they're just little. It's like little cyclones.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use this hand because
flat.
you're gonna actually see it there. But yeah, it's crazy. But yes, definitely flat.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've heard is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Kansas City is crazy about sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we say go Chiefs? Did I say go Jayhawks?
Chiefs, Jayhawks,
Sporting Kansas City.
KC Current.
Yep.
We got the world. We love the Royals. They maybe aren't aren't our
Yeah,
top
but
tier
they're
team,
our team.
but they're us, right? We
Yeah.
love the Royals. We are huge into college sports. We've got KU and that other place,
We can say K-State. There's nothing wrong with K-State. MU, we got MU.
MU.
Wichita State's
Oh yeah,
close.
they're big.
I mean, Central Missouri or University of Central Missouri it is
Mhm.
now is a big D2. And so that's if you're coming from other countries and you don't know about America, like our colleges are really like they're kind of like our academy teams, really, if you think about it, like
Yeah.
an analog to soccer. So they're amateur, but now you can actually make money off your amateur status. These players, they're recruited by these colleges and they come and they play. You get up to 4 years of eligibility. They're supposed to pay your college tuition. Some learning probably happens, but really it's all about about playing sports. And so we have some of the best college athletics in this area because we've got the ones that we just talked about, which are close, but then Nebraska is just a couple hours to the north. Oklahoma's a couple hours to the south. And you've got Oklahoma State. Tulsa's got a great program in college football. Like we love our sports.
Love our sports, and we don't have an NBA team close
or a hockey team.
Well, we have the Mavericks.
That's true. We don't have an NHL team. You are correct. Yeah. Mavericks. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, college basketball is big here. NBA.
A lot of people love it.
It's a lot of people
not
love
the parent household, but yeah.
But we don't have an NBA team.
No, but the Thunder's only a couple hours to the south.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so we love our sports.
We love sports.
We really get into our sports.
Which is why we're doing a World Cup podcast 3 years before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kansas City is the city of jazz.
Yes.
Not New Orleans.
New Orleans has some, but jazz in Kansas City, I think, is a little bit different than the jazz in New Orleans.
I'll give you that.
It's a different style. And we do have a fantastic jazz museum.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that in a later episode, but absolutely we had some very famous
and I feel like we're
people here.
With the establishment of the 18th and Vine, which are two streets, 18th Street and Vine, I feel like we're really re-embracing that heritage.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of tied into organized crime a little bit as well.
Yeah, so Kansas City was the Wild West, but then Kansas City was also kind of the Wild West during Prohibition because we had a lot of speakeasies, we had a lot of organized crime, If
you've seen the movie Casino, they talk about the boys in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Organized crime is not a big problem anymore.
No. Like, don't be afraid.
It's part of our history, and we're going to talk about that.
Pendergast and
there was a mayor here, and a bunch of things like that. So, but jazz is still very much part of what we do, and it's something that I'm looking forward to exploring because
I don't know a ton about it.
Yeah, it wasn't really part of how we grew up. It's really kind of a recent thing that has been part of the reestablishment of our downtown and everything. Yeah. So, I really feel like Sporting Kansas City kind of got us on the map for soccer, but I think Kansas City did a very good job of reinventing itself. As we go along, to earn our spots. So
absolutely.
Actually, we'll do that. Kansas City is a flyover city and a flyover state.
False.
That is correct. Yeah.
False. We have so much stuff here.
Yeah.
We have top restaurants. We have national museums. We have. Is it the only World War I museum?
I think so. Or monument, certainly. Yeah. Korean War monuments.
We have the National Frontier Trails Museum because when we talk about cowboys, this is where like the Oregon, California, and Santa Fe trails kind of started. This was the last place you could get supplies before you hit the real Wild West. So we've got
barbecue. We have barbecue.
We have barbecue.
You mentioned that? Yeah.
We have art. We have the Nelson Atkins.
Yep. And I mean, I think there was a time when our reputation as a flyover state was more deserved.
Yes.
I mean, I think that, we kind of unfairly got that title, but we didn't really help ourselves either. I think a lot of that's really changed. So we're excited that people are coming to Kansas City to check us out.
Yeah, you're going to love it here.
So let's talk about Kansas City is the city of fountains.
True.
Weird, right? Weird. That is true. Us in Paris.
Fountains. Yeah, but there are fountains everywhere. Everywhere. Big fountains, beautiful fountains. They'll probably be dyed different colors. Like for St. Patrick's Day, they're green, and
for the World Cup, we'll make sure they're red, white, and blue or something.
Yeah.
Even if we have to dump dye in ourselves.
Yeah, they turn pink in October. for Cancer Month, all that stuff.
They turn bubbly when people put soap in them.
That's true. Sometimes people put soap in them and they get all.
Because
I don't know why, but they do.
a lot of fountains.
Yes, we have a lot of fountains.
And we'll do an episode on that. We'll go visit some of the best fountains.
Some of the best fountains because there's some great ones down at the plaza.
And if you like,
there's a really gorgeous one north of the river.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll do an episode on fountains, so come back for that one.
So here's the last myth, right? Myth number 10.
Okay.
Kansas City is in Kansas.
True and false.
Also true. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know this doesn't make any sense to us either, but.
All right. So if you are not from the United States, Kansas and Missouri sit right next to each other. They're two different states. Kansas City.
They don't like each other. What do you mean? What are you looking at me like that for? Okay. You ever hear about a thing called the Civil War? They fought.
Oh yeah, okay. In the past, the border war is literally a real thing. Like we had
drivers
Civil War
are terrible.
Anyway, the things that you think about Kansas City, like if you see the Plaza Fountains, and the Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium, the Liberty Memorial, downtown Kansas City, all that stuff is actually Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas has the best tacos, though.
Absolutely, they do. Both towns have absolutely awesome things.
But they both have good tacos.
Well, they both have good tacos, but KCK is almost more suburban.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
The big urban downtown part is on the Missouri side. And a lot of times you'll go back and forth between Kansas and Missouri. You won't even have a clue that you've changed states.
That's true. But the funny thing is, so the Chiefs and the Royals, they play in Kansas City, Missouri. Sporting Kansas City, our soccer team plays in
Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, it's Kansas City, Kansas, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And so depending, we think it's going to be at Arrowhead, which would be in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
If it's at the Sporting Kansas City Stadium, which is not a huge stadium, so it's an awesome stadium. It's a very pretty stadium.
It is a great, not a bad seat in the house. The views are fantastic. And we watched Bayern Munich play there, so it's not out of the question. Yeah.
But that is in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
So we'll do more on that. Like the layout of Kansas City gets a little not strange, but it's more spread out than I think a lot of people realize. Yeah,
that's one thing that even as we travel to the United States, Kansas City is geographically spread out. It's a huge space.
Huge city.
You cannot get from place to place without a car.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're talking about staying in Kansas City, Missouri, downtown, which is where the hotels are, and then taking some sort of, you're going to have to take a taxi, a car. There'll probably be a shuttle set up to get to Arrowhead. There's a little different if they go to Plain Sporting Kansas City because there are some hotels there. But we're going to find out all of this for you because, again, we love our city. Yep. We want folks from outside the country to come to Kansas City and feel comfortable. We want folks from the country to come to Kansas City and feel comfortable. And we want people in Kansas City to keep loving the city because we're on the right track. It's one of the most exciting times to be in the city that I can remember.
Yeah.
So that's us. That's our city. This is our channel.
Yep. So come back. We're going to talk about all things food. We're going to talk about all things World Cup, like insofar as how do you get from downtown to the stadiums? Like, where should you stay? Is it safe to be here?
It's safe to be here.
It's safe to be here.
Yeah. Where's the best place to shop? Where's the best place to drink? Best place to get a bottle of wine?
What do you do with your kids when you're here? Are there fun things to do?
Like nature stuff.
We've got you covered. Yep. So come back.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know. Hit the little notification bell. But leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to know about.
What are you worried about when you're starting to think about coming to Kansas City? And we know that the games haven't been announced yet, so you're not really sure where you're going yet. But
come to Kansas City anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's an awesome place.
We're like right in the middle of the country. It's a short flight to anywhere else.
Yep.
All right. Next time, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.